Hey y'all, sorry to cut y'all off so suddenly in the last video. Had to take an Uber call. Uber is still on, so but in the meantime, it seems like we're pretty much finished with the line art here. Just gonna make a couple adjustments before I get into putting in the base colors. I think the expression here is a little bit too gentle. I want a little bit more of a stern expression from Mary here, because this is a kind of a condemnation piece, isn't it? Because we have had Mary come from some of the apparitions of Mary where she said, repent. Pray the rosary every day. There's a lot of darkness in this world. We need your participation, in rejecting evil. So I'm gonna bring the lips out, but the expression, we'll try to get less of a smile here and more of just a neutral. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. And then let's see what happens if we get the eyebrows even lower here, but still gentle. How's the curve on that? I want them a little bit level. Yeah, there we go. I think that's good. That's a nice face. Okay, we got the face finally in the line art. Okay, so we're gonna set some base colors here. I'm gonna do the border first. So we're gonna get rid of this, and then we're gonna do the border. And let's do it the fast way. So we're gonna do, let's see, freehand color fill. We're gonna do a mid gray, and we're gonna start from here, and let's do it like this. So we tap, we drag. Here I want just pretty much straight lines. And what I want to make sure to do is that when I fill, I have it, pretty much get it on the first try. So yeah, I do think actually, if I get used to this actually is faster than the Krita lasso fill tool. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep going here. Yeah, as long as I get used to the concept, because you can both tap and drag with the Krita lasso fill, and I suppose also with the, what do you call it, Ibis Paint lasso fill. I believe also Clip Studio Paint has a lasso fill. You can't tap like this. You have to sort of lasso the whole thing by moving your hand around. I do think the Clip Studio one is probably the most powerful though, because it has edge detection. So you can like lasso, and then you can make it so that it doesn't fill up the edges. But I do have a Clip Studio license, but I think it was only per one device. I'm going to see and try if I can use my Clip Studio license on my iPad here, but I don't know. So I'm just going to take my brush and just fill in those little pieces, and yeah, use the eraser as well to clean it up. And from the lines, I do want to erase this little piece here. I should check the deadline on this. The deadline's coming up. It's tomorrow, but I don't know what time. So I definitely got to finish this. Okay, so we're going to take that color again, back in the color layer here. Just going to fill in these little pieces. Oh, I need to scoop my chair back. Whenever I feel that my elbow is getting cramped, I got to scoop my chair back. Okay. So I do want to return to the topic I was talking about, because I'm still kind of wrapping my head around this. I believe that God allowed me to experience my anxiety and weakness last night in a kind of a false alarm situation. But still, the false alarm situation comes from ambiguity, and I'm going to face a lot of ambiguity in my life. a lot, especially when I'm the one who has caused a lot of that ambiguity. The sin is chaotic, and when you've sinned as much as I have, and I talk about this a lot, and I don't say this proudly, I'm not talking about any of these things with pride. I mean, I hate the things that I've done, and I've done a lot. I've committed a lot of sins. And when you've done that much, think of something like violence. Whoa, what is that? One request just came in. Tap to see details. Oh, I can take that. Match. Oh, another driver matched to it. That was a different kind of Uber notification just now, asking to match to something. I could have taken it, but I guess I was a little bit late. Another driver got it. But that's okay. I'll keep working on this piece. I guess for more organic shapes, I felt more comfortable brushing it in. It's, doing it this way, the brush in and then color fill, is pretty similar to the lasso fill. And I guess it just depends on the shape of the lines. So in this case, I think we're going to be okay with doing a color drop. I haven't decided on a background for this piece yet, but I think we're just going to keep it simple, maybe just like a simple color. We can send a transparent version and a version with color, and maybe we can even ask the commissioner, do you have like a preferred color? Because I think the reference he sent me had a yellow background. Yeah, yellow. Okay. Also, hello to anyone on Twitch. Fortunately, because I've been having problems with Streamlabs, where if I use the Streamlabs app on my phone, I've switched back and forth a number of times, where if the Twitch stream gets interrupted, it stops streaming. But today I had a Twitch stream through the Twitch app on my phone that had pretty much a solid feed and didn't drop at all. So that was pretty reassuring. So I'm using the Twitch app right now. So I'm going to go ahead and drop here and raise the threshold so that it really grabs and fills the whole thing. Okay, so we got that. Now for this thing, I think I will use the lasso fill tool. So, because it has like a weirder shape, and I want to be able to just fill it in one go. I think for this one, we'll stay committed to doing the whole circle around the whole figure. So I was talking about the chaos of sin. If you think about violence, right? If you think about like something that's even like an accident, right? Like a car accident. It's violent. No one intended it. And then when you think of intentional violence, you think of collateral damage. You think of like a police shootout in a peaceful neighborhood, right? People get hurt that no one is trying to hurt. You think of war, you think of something like World War II, where it became a deliberate strategy to kill civilians. Breaking all sorts of the rules of war in World War II, just committing, every country, including our own, committing atrocities. You think of, these conflicts and just innocent people get caught in the crossfire. With my sin, it's the same. The sin, in a way, is spiritual violence. Of course, physical violence is also spiritual violence. And in a lot of ways, all types of spiritual violence will still result in physical violence. These sins, they call them deadly sins because they can kill people. And we think about sexual sin or things like gambling, things like envy. Any of these pushed to their limit can create death. And it's part of the chaos. But what happens when we start building that city of God? We're singing in harmony with the angels and not out of tune. we start creating like collective beauty rather than a bunch of egos interacting and competing with each other. What happens? What is that? How beautiful is that? What does that look like? I don't know. We'll see it one day, hopefully. That's the Christian hope. But right now, we contend with this craziness, this crazy world. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more in there because there's probably some mouth in there with the teeth. Like right there. I should add a little bit of a line right there to show that there's some teeth back there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so opus color. I'm gonna color in these guys. Maybe color drop. Oh no, but color drop doesn't take the same layer. I forgot. In Krita, it's not Krita. But yeah, what does that harmony look like? Now, in this world, we have both. It's a spiritual battle. That's how we describe it. Spiritual warfare. That we have the chaos of sin competing against the harmony of goodness. But it's not really competition because, I mean, as we believe in Catholic teaching, as I've spoken about before, the privatio boni, that evil is a privation of good, that evil is the lack of what should be there, what should have been there. So interesting, like look at this piece even. Like, we have the Santa Muerte, which is pretty much, I mean, in a lot of visual depictions, a bastardization of the Our Lady of Guadalupe. I looked up a little bit about it. It seems to be that some of the worship of death is derived from like maybe ancient Aztec culture, indigenous culture. I sometimes do mourn the destruction of art and culture that happens when we have something like the Spanish takeover of the Americas, and just the amount of history wiped out because they wanted to condemn these things, and that comes with a lot of death and destruction. Just the wiping out of a civilization. That's very sad. That happens in the Bible too, where God kind of wipes out these civilizations that do not worship him, or he says, you should not spare any of the women and children, and then they spare some women and children, and then the society gets corrupted. Like, what God is saying, I mean, it sounds terrible, it sounds cruel, but what God is saying is that there should be a total elimination of sin. It's sin itself, and God does express in Scripture that he doesn't want these people to die, but rather he wants them to follow him. And I mean, it sounds so like egocentric when you think about it, right? It sounds so like, what the heck is wrong with this God? Why is he so selfish? Why is he so egotistic and wants everyone to worship him? But rather, the way we understand it, that right praise of God is good because God is love, and God is the increase of goodness and the increase of things that should be there. If you're hungry and you suffer from that, if you're deprived of something, some need, if you're poor, there and you have some kind of hunger from that you experience, then the pain comes from that deprivation. So let me turn up the brightness here. I don't want to blind myself, but I want to start bringing in color. So I learned not to go from grayscale, so we're just gonna make palettes. So before I do the alpha lock, I'm gonna call this layer color. Whoa, what the heck did I just do there? Select? Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know I could do that. I used to do hue and saturation to do that. You know what? That was an accident, but maybe we'll keep the pink. This is two, feminine characters. The Santa Muerte is female. And we have the Blessed Mother. You know what? That was a total accident trying to find her skin color, but we'll do it. We'll use that. That's funny. So I'm going to use a kind of this rosy orange. You know what? Let's actually just use this. Let's use... I like to think of Mary as, a Middle Eastern woman. In a lot of the apparitions, obviously she's glowing, she's white. but I don't want to think that it's necessarily because her skin is pale white. A youthful, appealing skin will look more red, the color of blood, right? So I like to use rosy highlights and rosy, you know, flushed cheeks and a little bit of orange and red in the shadows. But what is the base color? I think, you know, I like to think of where she came from, which is, you know, the Middle East, Jerusalem, Nazareth. So they do have like light-ish skin, a little bit tannish. I don't know the names to describe these things, but her base skin color is gonna be something a little bit more along the lines of this. Maybe we can go a little darker here. They have a really nice depiction of Mary in The Chosen. She's fairly dark in that one, so I'm gonna just choose a well chosen skin color here as a base. I'm just gonna lightly brush it in and make sure I have the right brush here. So I'm on the inker brush. I should be on the color brush because we're pretty much painting now. I'm gonna paint pretty with a lot of pressure here because I don't want to overpaint this like I'm doing some other pieces. I just want to keep it simple. I want to keep them solids just so that it saves a little bit of time. So I'm gonna create a palette here, and I'm gonna use this pink and create a shadow. Maybe kind of blend it in with the orange a little bit and make a shadow here. So we're gonna create a palette for her skin. So this color, and then highlights. We want we do want the pale white for the highlight color. So we'll use this. And where's the light coming from? It should be coming from, I guess, I'm gonna bring the sketch back too, because the sketch has the Guadalupe shape, that little large oval shape. And for a cast shadow, we're just gonna use something maybe in the purple. So we're gonna keep these colors, I guess, feminine. So in the purple, like a fleshy color here, like that. There's not going to be a whole lot of cast shadow in this piece, but we'll make sure we have that in the palette. So here under the chin for sure, maybe here under the nose. Form shadow color here under the lip. We can go lighter on this skin color. We can go a little lighter. So let's go this way. Let's go a little more. Yeah, there we go. So let's color drop this one here. Okay. Okay, so there's not too much skin showing, just her face, her hands, and feet. In here we will find the occlusion shadow under her hair. A little bit here in the cheeks, but more light. Okay, where's the highlight coming from? Should we do it like straight above? And we'll get a lip color in there, something maybe rosy, reddish, brownish. I don't know. Maybe more red here, saturate it a little bit. Yeah, saturate it a little bit. I don't want it to look like lipsticky. You're just gonna saturate it a little bit. And then we'll get this highlight color. Get a highlight color in there. Put a highlight in the lip. And then get a little bit of a shadow in the lip. Not sure what color to use for that. Get it small. Again, gonna try to put a highlight in the lip. Just something Simple. Okay. Okay. I'm getting a little bit more in the lip, more flesh. Because the way I drew the lip, like chin shadow, it's like more closer down there. But maybe we'll just use this form shadow color just generally under the lip. And we can get this lip a little bit darker. Get this a little bit lighter. Okay. There. Let's get white in the eyes. Get some black, maybe some brown. Like this is desaturated purple might work. Keeping some kind of highlight in there. Okay. That's a nice, pretty nice face. Okay. Might play with the hue and saturation a little bit before I decide that this is the color we're going to use. So here, an occlusion shadow into the neck between the hair. So we're definitely going to get some occlusion shadow there. Might get pretty dark. Oh, now we got another Uber request. $38. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.